The 10th action step in the Parkinson's plan, 25 actionable steps to help prevent Parkinson's, is all about what we breathe. And it's to consider air purifiers. Now, indoor air pollution is a hidden risk for many chronic diseases like Parkinson's. The good news is, though, that air purifiers can be an easy and effective way to reduce exposure. They can range in cost from $10 up to $1,000, and they can require periodic cleaning and filter changes. And they may need multiple units depending on the size of the space that you're trying to do that. But the important thing is that you do have an option to help with that. And for the best results, they suggest choosing purifiers with carbon filters that remove the volatile organic chemicals, or VOCs, like trichloroethylene. Now, I would also like to point out, though, that the EWG does offer a guide on this for air filters. And in fact, they have a whole tip sheet here for helping ensure the better air quality. Now, I was really surprised, though, in looking at both the book and the EWG, that no plants were mentioned in the improvement of interior or indoor air quality. And so I thought it important to share that plants are, of course, a really awesome option for many, many reasons. And this was a list that was actually compiled by NASA of the plants that can help with the indoor air quality. Goes over a lot of the chemicals that can be removed, like benzenes and trichloroethylene if it's a peace lily. So this is a really great article to really get deep into it. And they actually go down later and compare the air purifiers versus plants and what are the advantages of that. So I can put this link below for everybody to look at as well. But I do want to point out one thing. You see formaldehyde. All of these plants are very helpful in removal of formaldehyde. And that's important because I don't think people realized that, well, not a lot of people, that there's been this ongoing lawsuit. These flight attendants were given these uniforms that were contaminated with formaldehyde, a history of formaldehyde in the flight attendant uniforms. This was to keep them from getting wrinkly. It was a wrinkle-resistant piece. And this was such big news. I just learned this actually from the flight attendant sitting next to me on my last flight this weekend. And she was talking about how this was a really big issue. And in fact, $18 million was awarded. So we do also want to make sure that we're looking at what is in our clothing and our uniforms and things that could be also causing us all kinds of problems, because there were many different other chemicals in here that are going to be considered dangerous. And of course, there's many other conditions beyond Parkinson's that these would be associated with, but something to pay attention to. And in fact, I'm going to do a 10.5 because it's not technically one of the Parkinson's plan's points, but I do think important to know about the clean first layer. So that's going to be 10.5 coming next.